These horror movie sets aren't just imagination, they're terrifyingly real. From haunted hospitals to forests with deadly pasts, these places inspired your nightmares. Let's explore 10 real locations that inspired the scariest horror movies. The real Amityville House. In the quiet town of Amityville, New York, sits a Dutch colonial-style house that became infamous after a gruesome event in 1974. Ronald DeFeo Jr. offed 6 members of his family inside 112 Ocean Avenue, and a year later, the Lutz family moved in, only to flee 28 days later. They claimed they were tormented by paranormal forces. Their chilling experiences inspired Jay Anson's 1977 book, which became the basis for the Amityville horror franchise. Doors slammed on their own, green slime oozed from walls, and ghostly voices whispered in the dark. The house has passed through several owners, some of whom report no disturbances, while others hint at strange energy. Even today, curiosity seekers flock to the address, hoping to glimpse the evil that lurks within. The Stanley Hotel. Perched high in Estes Park, Colorado, the Stanley Hotel is more than just a grand mountain resort. In 1974, Stephen King and his wife Tabitha stayed here alone as the hotel was closing for the season. That night, King had a terrifying nightmare of his son being chased through the halls. He woke up, lit a cigarette, and by the time it burned down, the seed of The Shining had been planted. The hotel's eerie isolation, creaky floors, and tales of ghostly guests shaped the Overlook Hotel that we know today. Room 217, where King stayed, remains a hotspot for paranormal activity. Employees and visitors still report hearing children laughing, luggage moving, and doors slamming with no explanation. The Exorcist Stairs. The infamous staircase in Georgetown, Washington, D.C. is as iconic as the movie itself. Featured in the climax of The Exorcist from 1973, the narrow, steep stairs became the setting for Father Carra's brutal fall. But what most fans don't know is that this location had long held a reputation among locals for being eerily dangerous, especially at night. The film was based on the true story of a 14-year-old boy known as Roland Doe, whose alleged possession and exorcisms took place in the late 1940s. The combination of that dark backstory and the chilling visuals immortalized these stairs in horror history. The city even declared them a historic landmark in 2015. The Bell Witch Cave. Tennessee's Bell Witch legend is one of America's oldest and creepiest tales. Between 1817 and 1821, the Bell family of Adams, Tennessee claimed that they were haunted by a malevolent spirit that whispered threats, slapped family members, and even predicted deaths. The spirit known as the Bell Witch was allegedly responsible for the death of patriarch John Bell. The 2005 film An American Haunting dramatizes this legend, drawing from actual witness accounts and journals. Today, you can visit the Bell Witch Cave, where strange sounds, cold spots, and vanishing shadows still plague visitors. Some believe the cave holds the spirit's lingering energy, making it one of the most haunted places in the United States. The real Bates Motel. While the Bates Motel itself was a set, Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho was inspired by real events and a real place. The twisted tale of Norman Bates was based on Wisconsin killer Ed Gein, whose crimes in the late 1950s shocked the nation. Gein lived in a decaying farmhouse near Plainfield, where he kept disturbing trophies made from human remains. The farmhouse became the mental blueprint for the infamous motel in the film. Though the original Gein house was burned down, the rural roads around Plainfield still carry an eerie silence. Curious fans visit the area to feel the horror that birthed one of the most influential thrillers ever made. Central State Hospital. In Milledgeville, Georgia, stands the sprawling remains of Central State Hospital, one of the largest mental institutions in the U.S. Opened in 1842, it housed over 12,000 patients at its peak. Its decaying corridors, rusted beds, and disturbing history of electroshock therapy and forced lobotomies inspired the 2001 psychological horror film Session 9. Although the movie was actually filmed at Danvers State Hospital in Massachusetts, the feel and tone were heavily influenced by real institutions like Central State. Urban explorers claim they've seen apparitions, heard screaming from abandoned wings, and felt overwhelming dread. The site is now largely closed to the public, but its reputation as a house of horror remains. The Island of the Dolls. Just south of Mexico City in the canals of Xochimilco lies the Island of the Dolls. Hundreds of decaying, weather-worn dolls hang from trees, fences, and walls. According to legend, a man named Don Julian Santana began hanging dolls after finding a drowned girl in the canal in the 1950s. He claimed her spirit haunted the island, and the dolls were offerings to appease her. The location directly inspired elements of the curse of La Llorona in 2019, particularly the idea of restless, drowned spirits seeking children. Visitors report hearing whispers, seeing doll heads turn, and even being touched by unseen hands. The Waverly Hills Sanatorium. Built in 1910 in Louisville, Kentucky, the Waverly Hills Sanatorium was a tuberculosis hospital during a time when the disease had no known cure. Over 6,000 patients reportedly died there. The building includes a chilling feature known as the death tunnel or body chute, a sloped tunnel used to discreetly transport the dead. In 2005, it became the setting for the horror film Death Tunnel, and its real-life reputation only grew. Visitors report ghost sightings, unexplained screams, and shadows moving in the halls. Ghost hunters consider it one of the most haunted buildings in America. Pripyat, Ukraine. The abandoned city of Pripyat, Ukraine, sits frozen in time after the Chernobyl nuclear disaster of 1986. Nature has reclaimed the buildings, and eerie silence rules the streets. The 2012 horror movie Chernobyl Diaries draws directly from the ghost town's real desolation. Though not haunted in a traditional sense, the unsettling stillness and real radiation dangers give the area an otherworldly horror. Urban explorers who have ventured into the exclusion zone report odd sensations, bizarre sounds, and a sense of being watched. The city has become a monument to a disaster, and to this day, it's one of the most unnerving real-world horror locations on Earth. The Real House from The Conjuring. Before it was a blockbuster movie, The Conjuring was a real-life nightmare. The Perron family moved into the farmhouse in Harrisville, Rhode Island in 1971, and almost immediately began experiencing paranormal activity. Voices, moving furniture, and ghostly apparitions plagued the family for years. Ed and Lorraine Warren, the famed paranormal investigators, documented the case and claimed that the house was being haunted by the spirit of a witch named Bathsheba Sherman. The movie closely followed the real events, and the house still stands today. The current owners claim it's still active and have opened it to the public paranormal investigations. It's considered one of the most haunted homes in the US. So what do you guys think of these stories? Leave a comment below letting me know which one was the freakiest and which one you might even visit if you were so brave enough. But leave a like, leave a comment, and of course subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.